Hi, everybody. Welcome to today's edition of the Gamut Network. I say this all the time when I start. I know I'm very aware of that, but I do love all the guests that are on the show. But this young woman is connected to us in a few different ways. And I'm so excited to share her story. So without further ado, I'd love to introduce Mary Cayten to the show. Hi,
Hi, Mindy.
how are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Good. I'm loving the whole look. I was saying
Thank you. Thank
before
you.
the interview, thankfully, I have cool earrings on because her earrings are way cooler. Amazing. So, Mary Cayten, talk to us a little bit about your personal story and journey. Tell us. Let's start with who you are, the disability you have, and then we're going to guide from there.
Yeah, sounds good. So I was diagnosed with a genetic mutation called Ahlers-Danlos syndrome a couple years ago. I started passing out and convulsing and was super tired all the time and just really didn't feel like myself. I just felt sick all the time, and that was not normal for me. And so I was a college athlete. I was on the swim team at the University of Tennessee, and started going through the process of figuring out what was going on with our team doctor. He was incredible and really just sort of led the charge through what can be a really difficult process of figuring out some mysterious condition and not knowing what it is, but knowing that something's wrong and we need to figure it out. So I was eventually diagnosed with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. I have POTS as well.
Can you say that a little slower? I want to understand.
Yes.
I want to hear it properly.
It's Ehlers-Danlos syndrome.
Ahlers.
Yes, Danlos syndrome.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
EDS
Okay.
for short.
Thank you.
Yes. So it can present in a lot of different ways. I have type 3, which is the hypermobile type. I think there's 13, but I might be totally guessing at that number. So there's, a lot of different presentations of it. People have a lot of different symptoms, but the main thing is that people's collagen is defective. And so joints come out of place more frequently than they should, and, issues gastrointestinally and kind of a range of things because your whole body is made of collagen. So it can definitely impact.
How does it affect you specifically?
So for me, I have a lot of issues with my blood pressure. So my blood vessels don't contract the way that they should. So blood pools in my legs, and that was causing all of the passing out. My doctor says that I'm allergic to gravity. I just don't do well when I'm standing up. So a lot of fatigue. If I'm not passing out, then I'm just feeling icky. So it's been definitely something to try and figure out how to manage it all, but I feel like we're finally in a really good place. We're about 2 or so years in now of trying medications, and I was using mobility aids for a while, but I actually got a pacemaker in December. This is Sparky.
Congratulations.
Yes. Love Sparky. So I actually don't have to use my cane really much at all anymore since that surgery, which has been really great to get a little bit of mobility back on my own there. But it's been, just so many incredible people helping along the way. My family has been phenomenal. My team was phenomenal. All of my medical staff has been phenomenal. So I'm just really, really lucky to have had all those people in my life helping figure all this out.
Thank God. Now, here's a slightly novice question, but are you still able to swim because you are not vertical? And it's probably swimming's very good for you, I would imagine.
Great for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's really crazy. It's totally a God thing I fell in love with the sport when I was 2 years old in summer league swim practices. And then when I was in my 20s, it became, truly as important as the pills that I take, as important as the pacemaker, if not more so. Yeah. So I kind of at the beginning of quarantine and all of this craziness, I was starting to get really sick again because all the pools were closed. And so my dad and I started swimming in the very cold lake, and found a friend of a friend that has a great pool that they've allowed me to use. And so it's pretty crazy how important swimming is to my overall well-being.
It's really actually almost a little unbelievable that the sport that you love the most is actually helping to make you better.
Right.
It is wild and wonderful. Were you able to swim competitively or just swim?
So I swam my full freshman season, and then I started getting really sick my sophomore year. So I was in and out of the pool a ton. I was still competing at that point, but missing practices and meets all over the place. My junior year, I actually ended up technically retiring in the second semester of my junior year because I was not getting any better. We didn't have any answers, and it was becoming dangerous for me to be around the pool with a fall precaution and losing consciousness, and that's not great around a body of water.
That's a little bit more serious than no running.
Right, exactly. But then I got diagnosed in March of my junior year, and so we started to have an answer. We started to be able to work towards a solution, and I was actually able to swim some competitively this past year, the first semester of my senior year. So
it's so exciting.
Yeah, it was really great. It was great to get
that you're sailing off into the sunset.
Yes, definitely.
Being able to swim again. It's so amazing. So now at the University of Tennessee, correct? I know that you just graduated, so congratulations.
Thank you.
You were a fashion merchandising major. Yes. And you also submitted for a contest that Runway of Dreams underwrites for the AATCC. Tell me about that, and how did you find out about the contest? What connected you to it?
Yes, so I entered a business pitch competition that my school hosts this year, and I loved the whole process. I loved getting to come up with a business plan and getting to pitch it and getting to just think through that whole process. And I'm also very competitive, so it was great that it was a competition. And after that was over, I was just really drawn to it and wanted to do more things like that. And so started Googling and looking for design competitions. And I had heard about Runway of Dreams when I started becoming interested in adaptive fashion and trying to figure out what was already out there. And so I found this competition and was like, oh my gosh, this is great. So this year the prompt was an outfit for someone with dwarfism. And so I just sort of started thinking through that and ran with it and had a great time getting to come up with a design for that. And I'm really excited to have won.
That's right. And just for all the viewers out there, I have the great pleasure of being a judge. So this is so exciting for me to meet her personally, as you know, I voted for her to win because your designs were amazing. But you know, one of the criteria, and in my opinion, the most important criteria, is that you have to really understand the population that you're designing for, and that required doing research and whatnot. And I think you did such a wonderful job with that. But maybe you could just talk through like a little bit about your designs and how you got to that point.
Definitely. So I was mostly inspired by the idea of the dream is one day that all designers will have adaptive options, that you can walk in any store and no matter what type of body you have, be able to find clothing that works for you. Unfortunately, we're probably a ways off from that. We're definitely making progress.
We're moving in the right direction.
Yes, because of Runway of Dreams. So it's really exciting to see all of these steps moving forward. And I wanted to kind of build on that momentum and give retailers that haven't been able to make that jump yet and decide to go all in on adaptive fashion, be able to cater to customers with dwarfism in this instance. So I designed a dress that had multiple layers on the skirt, and so you were able to button them on and off depending on your height. And then there were a number of other just kind of considerations in there. So the waist was adjustable as well to fit any hip to waist ratio. The sleeves were a flutter pedal sleeve, like this puffed pedal sleeve, so that any kind of arm and shoulder would fit in there well. So the idea was that anyone, regardless of your body type, would be able to wear this dress, enjoy this dress, and be flattering in this dress. And so yeah, it was really fun to think through that.
What was the most interesting thing you learned about people with dwarfism?
So I definitely wanted to present my idea on a model with dwarfism. And so I got to meet a friend of a friend with dwarfism, Megan, and she was really, really awesome to talk to and get to spend the day shooting with her. And just building that relationship was great. And I'm really glad that I know her. I'm glad I had the opportunity to meet her through this.
I love that. Because I mean, that really is the premise of why we're doing this show, is to show that people with disabilities are just people, whether that's dwarfism or your disease or muscular dystrophy, limb difference. Before all of that, we are people. You are a beautiful, young, accomplished woman that is going to go on and do incredible things, which tell us a little bit about what you are doing next.
Yes, so this fall, hopefully, fingers crossed, I am heading down to Savannah, Georgia to study fashion design at SCAD. So I'll be getting a master's degree there. I'm so excited. And then long term, my mom and I are actually going to start a fashion label together. So quarantine has been a great time. We've had a lot of extra time, so a great time for us to really dive into that and, really work on our business plan and start making prototypes and everything that needs to happen to launch a business. So it's been really exciting taking concrete steps towards that.
Amazing.
So yeah, that's what we're really excited about.
Amazing. Do you think you'll have adaptive options in your line?
Yes, it's a fully adaptive fashion line.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. Well, I'm here if you need anything.
Awesome.
If people want to get in touch with you and maybe ask you more questions or want to understand your disease, what's the best way to get in touch with you?
I have an Instagram. I'm pretty bad at using social media, but if someone wanted to reach out there, I would find it eventually. So it's MC Brakefield is my name on Instagram. If anyone wanted to email me, it's mcb901@gmail.com. And I would love to hear from anyone that has thoughts on fashion and what they would love to see more of in clothing, anything like that.
Let's use this as like a little focus group. Come on.
Yes, definitely.
Get in touch. Let's get this going. Perfect.
Yes.
So I have one final question that, as you know, because thankfully you said you have watched many episodes, that we ask all of our guests, and that's about the power of a vision board. Whether that's an actual vision board or something in your head or in your heart. If we got to peek onto Mary Cayten's vision board, what would we see?
Yes, I am such a sucker for goal setting and visualization and all of this.
You're competitive.
Yes. Yes, I think the biggest thing is just that I would love to see one day every single person be able to walk into any store and find something that fits them, but also that represents their unique personality, their unique self. I mean, fashion is so powerful, and fashion can do so much and more than just not be naked. And so I would love to see everyone be able to really use the power of fashion to the full extent.
I love that. I love that so much. And I love looking at that board to see that. And I have no doubt that you and your mom are going to help make that happen. I can't wait to sit on the sidelines and watch.
We can't wait either.
So exciting. Thank you so much for joining us. I absolutely loved getting to meet you, the woman behind the wonderful designs, and the winner of our 2019 or 2019 contest. So bravo, wonderful, and I can't wait to see what you do next.
Thank you so much, Mindy.
Thank you. If you would like to be on the Gamut Network, please email us at talent@gamutmanagement.com to tell us why you'd be a great guest. Please also don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel to see many more episodes like this. And please also make sure to follow us on our social platforms at Gamut Management. Thank you again.
Thanks, Mindy.
Bye.